Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Wolves versus Everton, 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. I mean, 8 o'clock. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. But it's Everton. No, shocking, but you know,
horrible time.
When did they ever think about the fans? Never is the answer. But when did they think about the people who are watching it? Who wants to watch Wolves versus Everton at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night? Like, honestly, who away from the Everton and Wolves fan base is watching this game?
No.
Nobody. What are you doing?
It's the kind of game you put on in the advert or something else you're watching. Just like you put the kettle on to go, oh, what's happening in that game? I'll put it on for 4 minutes while I make a drink. Or 3 minutes and just go, yeah, turn it off. Get the bay back on or something. It's on the Monday or Sunday, whatever. But you know, any other programme that you watch.
Oh, Jen, honestly though, I don't know.
This just ticks the box of we need that 8 o'clock on a Saturday night filled. None of the better teams really want to play in it. We'll just give them so we can say to Wolves, we have give you a big or Everton, we have give you that.
I just don't
slot. Yeah,
don't get it. The game itself, it feels sort of pivotal for Wolves in many ways. On the home game, they'll have 10 games left after this game. They're obviously 10 points behind Everton as it is. And obviously Everton are the next team up. But for them it feels really pivotal because obviously they're trying to get away from Leicester and Ipswich, and they'll be even though Everton's form has been really good, they'll be looking at this game, won't they, thinking, right, well, actually, maybe Everton have chilled out, maybe they've relaxed a little bit, maybe they've had a 10-day break, they've been away in the sun, maybe their need isn't as much as ours, and if we go after them, you know, in the first half or whatever, we can get a lead. And I imagine that's the way we think, because every home game for them is going to be really critical, you know, because you know that's where you'd expect them to pick up most points, you know. But so from that point of view, you know, it's a tricky game.
It's a tough game for us. It really is. The home form isn't amazing. But that being said, they did beat Villa the other week, and Villa are a good side, albeit they lost last time out against Fulham at home. And but it's a game that Everton, from an Everton perspective, you know, Everton, it's a win. We're a point behind West Ham, aren't we? Point behind United, point behind Spurs, and 4 behind Palace. So we want to stay in that mix with those teams now, because we've dragged ourselves away from the relegation battle to a certain extent, and therefore we're looking upwards, aren't we? So I get your point, but that might be more dangerous for Wolves, that we're playing without the pressure. But for them, you're absolutely right. If they could beat Everton at the weekend and the other 3 teams don't win, well, the gap then goes to at least 7 points, doesn't it, from the bottom 3?
Just talking about like their fixtures, they've obviously got us, and then they've got Southampton away, so obviously that's a massive game for them. Then they've got West Ham at home, then they've got Ipswich away, then they've got Tottenham at home, then they've got Manchester United away, then they've got Leicester at home. So this is a real this next 5 or 6 games for them is really, really massive run of games for them, where they'll be looking to pick the points up.
They could get a couple of wins and a couple of draws out of those.
Certainly if they beat Leicester and they beat Ipswich.
And Southampton got the bottom 3.
That's what I'm saying. So
not that I think Wolves will stay up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wolves are better than Leicester, Southampton and Ipswich, in my opinion, like much better. Now the big thing that's been thrown in the mix, because everything else was thrown in the mix, was from Cunha last week. He threw everything in the mix: a head, the kick, a push, and he's really the spanner.
It was like a 5 times combo.
He was just pure Street Fighter or whatever. But such a fantastic footballer. Wolves just didn't need that at this stage. Do you know what I mean? And he drops, their level drops without him. But I still think they're better than the other 3. But from an Everton perspective, and obviously that's what our blue tinted glasses will be. Losing Matheus Cunha is a big boost for Everton, and obviously we've had a break. They went out the FA Cup on penalties at the weekend. We've had the break, which we needed. We were out on our feet, weren't we? you know, Pereira's got to pick them up. They're not doing great in the league. Then they go out the FA Cup, which is sometimes the thing that can keep your season going. You've got that. And he's had to pick them up. They've lost the captain now for 4 games. He was their best player. Yes, he's getting a couple of bodies back, but if Everton can get in front, then the old deja vu starts coming in. We've been in this position when you're not doing great at home. They've lost a large portion of games at home. We were just talking about it before we come on. You know, lots of defeats in the last 20-odd games at home. So it isn't a happy hunting ground for them at the minute. They seem to be...
They've picked up more points away from home.
So they look more relaxed at playing on the counter-attack and stuff. So from an Everton perspective, this is a great opportunity for us to basically put the cherry on the old cake and go, we are clear of any worries.
Well, that's it, isn't it? If Everton can get 3 points, takes up to 35 points, and we'd be 13 points clear of Wolves. Yeah. You know, and they're the team that we think are going to survive.
Exactly.
So if the 13 points cleared them, this is the one. Also, we could get a win. David Moyes would go up to, 18 points?
18 points.
From his games. That would take him above, obviously, the 17 he came in on. And then there are absolutely not any doubts anyway, but then there are absolutely no doubts.
It just puts it to bed, doesn't it?
And then you're thinking, right, let's see if we can get the 40-point mark as fast as possible.
Well, we're looking at the weekend. You know, we're talking about trying to catch teams above. Palace are at home to Ipswich. Yeah. You'd think Palace would win that. Yeah. Southampton at Liverpool, but Southampton are gone anyway, so it's irrelevant there. And then on Sunday is Leicester, is it? Sunday, Leicester go to Chelsea. You'd expect Chelsea to win there. So for the likes of Wolves, like you said, they're going to be all right anyway. Spurs have got Bournemouth, so from an Everton perspective, City, United have got Arsenal.
It's really interesting because if Everton can win this game, then I do think that mindset fully switches around, and then you are going, I hope they get a point at Palace there. And
my Leicester, we don't want Leicester being Chelsea,
but
Ipswich getting a result.
No, but then you're looking at going, I know it probably
we'll know that because
it has sort of shifted in the last few weeks anyway, where you are looking at those games going.
Palace Ipswich will have played before Liverpool.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In the future weeks, you're looking at that's the shift, isn't it? The shift then becomes
if we look at
want to catch West Ham.
If we look at Palace Ipswich at 5 o'clock and it's 0-0, we'll be like, good result, right? Let's go, let's get the win. And the same, obviously.
And listen, I imagine there's loads of people who've already got that mentality. I imagine there's loads of people who are already in that zone, thinking, I hope Ipswich gets up with Palace.
It's raw, it'll be sound.
You know, but for Everton, it's just about winning our games, isn't it? And as I said, if we win this game, and I think what we've shown in the last few weeks is we're well capable, especially on the road as well. I think we were all a little bit disappointed we didn't get the 3 points at Brentford in the end, even though we were behind. But I think we were all a little bit disappointed that we didn't win it. We had plenty of opportunities to score goals and get the win, but it wasn't there. And I think we're disappointed. Obviously massively disappointed we didn't get the 3 points against Manchester United. And the whole thing has turned around. And you do look at this game and think, like, this is a team we've already beaten 4-0 this season, and you know, I know on the night Wolves had chances, but we've still scored 4. We've still won 4-0.
Should have scored 8 that night. Wolves had a couple. It should have been 8-2.
Dyche is obviously his last victory as Everton manager, so it's a game where you do look at it and think, without Cunha, who is that? He's the talisman, isn't he? He's a real talisman for them. He's the edge. He is the difference between what Leicester and Ipswich have got. I know they've got more than that. They've got the likes of Doherty and they've got out Nori.
Nori's a good player,
got players like the goalie's pretty sound. They have got good players around the pitch, and I didn't think they would struggle as much as they have this season.
Struggle last season though, didn't they?
I just didn't think they'd just struggle this much though. I just thought they'd be a little bit better off. They obviously changed the manager to someone who talked himself out of being the Everton manager. And obviously when he came in, they got that little boost, didn't they? Because they looked well gone, and I think they picked up 7 points in the first 3 games, and it really shot them up, didn't it?
There, a little bit.
And got them up there. So yeah, I think, you know, the squad's not great, and I think that's where they've suffered like we have this season, where the squad's not great. But I think when you've got a guy who is your absolute talisman, who, let's be honest, this isn't the first time he's done this season, and I know at the moment it's a 3-match ban, but it could easily be longer if they decide to get involved. Don't know if they will or not.
I think 4, aren't they? I know it's 3 at the moment.
But I'm saying that, you know, because of the one that happened last time, he got a 2-match ban for having a fight, and we've seen him, you know, when what I don't get about him is he seems to want to fight with his own team and his own people off on his own bench. And
We've had that a couple of times. Lamina was the captain, and he had a scrap, didn't he? It was the end of with his own people, and at the end of West Ham, and he got the cap. He said they took the captaincy off him, and then he wanted to go, and then it moved to Cunha, and he was the captain. Then he's had trouble, and he robbed the Ipswich fella's glasses and broke them, and this, that, and the other. So I don't know whether he's just frustrated that things haven't gone the way he's wanted or whatever. But you captain, you need him. Not like Wolves are, where Everton are, where you think we're all right. Now they are, even though I do think that the two, in my opinion, they're better than the other three and they'll stay up. They're still in a zone and needing points, and they needed the captain for the next few weeks, because this is like you've just said with the games, this is an opportunity for them.
Yeah, they'll be looking at those. Wolves will be looking at those fixtures, going, we could be 8 points ahead by the end of this weekend when you look at the other two fixtures, and that's all they'll be thinking, isn't it? 8 points clear of those two teams. At this stage of the season, with the points that I think Ipswich they look like they've got a bit more fight than Leicester have. Ipswich, they've got. I don't know whether they've got enough.
Ipswich just remind me of Luton last.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've got that. They've got that.
Be good enough.
They've got that little bit. They've got that little bit more fight about them, and I think we've seen that in the last 3 games. Getting a draw of Villa, Old Trafford going really close, and then going to penalties with Forest when they played quite a weak inside. They do seem to have that little bit of fight in them, which Leicester just don't seem to have. So, I mean, as I said, Wolves will look at this and then look at the next 6 after and think these are the games. These are they're playing all the teams around them, essentially, teams below them and teams.
Even if they drew every, saying they would, but they drew every game, they come out the other end and still they'd be fine.
But as I said, they've got the bottom 3, Everton, West Ham, Manchester United and Spurs. They're all the teams in and around them, essentially. So it's the start of a potentially very, very important. Well, it is very important. It's not potentially. It's very important. For us, I just think it's the case of going and doing what we've been doing. Hopefully fresher. Hopefully, we saw Patterson on the bench last time and Chimiti. They'll have had 10 more days of proper training. Yeah. And hopefully there's a couple more coming behind them. Brozier, we saw training. We didn't see Dom, did we? And we obviously haven't seen anything of Dwight McNeil other than being in basketball games in Miami. But if we're getting that squad...
Well, Coleman as well as training.
Yeah, if we're getting that squad a little bit thicker and a little, more options. Yeah. More, the last few games it's been Ashley Young, and no disrespect to him, but Ashley Young coming off the bench, and Timur Abunam, and it's just been essentially those 2 plays. And obviously, Charlie Alcaraz or Decore. Now Decore's back after, his wife giving birth. So there's another option. So hopefully there's 3 or 4 options. The question will be, I think for us, it will be Decore, and I think Decore will go back into the team personally, and then it'll be. But then you've got the option to come off the bench, and that's the most important thing for them.
I think the biggest thing for us is getting and it'll be Chimiti, because he's the one furthest along the line. Getting him up to speed, so when Beto's run himself out, and it might be with 15 minutes left, you've got someone who can go on and make a nuisance, because that's really, when you're looking at the games, the last few games, certainly the last 2 games, when we've looked tired at the end because we've had a heavy run, we haven't had anyone pressing from the front with the energy when Beto's been a bit tired, or even people supporting him, because we haven't had enough off the bench. So, and that's been where the games have slipped away. Like Brentford was there and even though we were still trying to win, a little bit of freshness would have won that. United definitely. United was the easiest home game we've had all season, and that's including Wolves. Until Fernandes scored the free kick, and then we would look drained after that. So giving David Moyes 5 or 6 options off the bench, it'd be a huge. Well,
obviously, let's have a look at the Everton team that faced Brentford last time out. So obviously Charlie Alcaraz was in, we know that, and the 2 wide men, there's not going to be any change in those 2.
Nope.
Hopefully Lindstrom, who obviously was ill against Manchester United, and then you wonder whether there's still a bit of that lingering. Brentford. So hopefully he might be over that. Bit of sunshine will have helped them. On the other side, Jack Harrison, obviously they're the one. That's the one, isn't it? Because you just want to. Njai was over there, wasn't he? And he there was, I saw some pictures of him out on the bike, so he is getting movement back into the knee, and
yeah.
but obviously I just, you know, you're still probably talking maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
He'll be the derby, he'll be back for it to be mad.
Because obviously there's 2 games and then there's the gap, and then he might be back for the derby. But it's still those 2 wide men, and as we're saying, Decore's probably...
Decore, I imagine Decore will come straight in.
Yeah.
For Alcaraz, will go to the bench.
Yeah.
Lindstrom and Harrison are the 2 players with the highest XG in the Premier League not to score a goal this season. Harrison should have 3 from the XG and Lindstrom 2.2 or something. So, you know, if those players could take their chances, you'd have had an extra 5 goals from those positions. Who knows how key that could have been? Because you do need it's great, and I say it as well. So, you know, I'm having a go at myself sort of here as well. It's all very well saying, oh, they work really hard and they do a good job for the team, and they both do. But the forward players, the players who are on the pitch to score and create goals, and therefore we need to be getting more out of both of those players, because Illiman and Jai is our joint top scorer and he's not there at the minute. You know, we've got a lad on the thumbnail who doesn't even wear an Everton kit, and he's one of Everton's top scorers this season. You know, the 2 on the thumbnail are the 2 lads who've scored 2 goals in it. You know, the only 2 players to score more than 1 goal in a game for Everton this season or something. So that is where it is. Those 2 wide areas not having options has hurt Everton as well, because those lads have done a lot of work. But
yeah, let's have a look at the Wolves team that were beaten by Fulham. So obviously the last Premier League game rather than the Cup game. Do you think it's? I mean, the centre forward isn't a centre forward. Munetzi, he started the last couple of games up front. He's more of a midfielder, but he's been getting in ahead of Strand Larsen, who we'll have a look at in a moment. But is there a Strand Larsen's been coming on sort of later on in the games? You know, it feels a bit of a weird one.
I think it's a weird one, but I think without watching loads of Wolves, and I watched half an hour of the Cup game at the weekend at Bournemouth, and I thought they looked quite lively, to be fair. Bournemouth are a good side, and both have made changes, but Wolves look better with Stan Larsen on the pitch. I was quite impressed with him at Goodison. I thought he wasn't amazing. Cunha was the one who stood out, of course, but I thought Stan Larsen looked like a handful. He started the season really well.
João Gomez is a good player as well. I don't think he'll be asked to do, you know, more of what, you know, take up more of the slack of what Cunha does. So he's a decent player. No, but I'm saying he'll be. And then, you know, as I said,
they've got a couple back training as well.
He's got all that experience. Nori, I think's a really good player. Semedo on the other side, who seems to have been there for ages. So decent side. But let's have a look at the numbers for Stan Larsen, because he's got good numbers for a player who's not always playing. 25 appearances, 7 goals, 6.35 XG. I mean, that's a decent return, isn't it?
2 assists.
2 assists. So
just over 1 shot a game, is it?
And he is really a proper sort of target man, isn't he?
He's a big unit up front, and he's quite he's not quick, but he's mobile enough. And like I say, he looked really good at the start of the season. Clearly, Pereira's coming, using a midfielder up there. He might want to play a little bit more controlled or a different way of playing. But Strand Larsen's one you look at and think, he's got a goal in him. But like I say, I haven't seen loads of Wolves lately, so I wouldn't know whether he's just not playing well, and that's maybe why Vitor Pereira has taken him out the side. Wolves fans would be able to tell us a lot better whether he should be starting games or not. But when you look at a team that doesn't score millions of goals, then you think, well, one of our top scorers really should be starting games. But then again, it depends what the manager's looking for, doesn't it? If Stan Larsen isn't doing the stuff Pereira wants him to do, then if you're preferring a midfield player in that role, there must be a reason. But obviously with Cunha out, I'd expect Stan Larsen to start at the weekend.
Another player who might be back for this game is Huang. He's been out, hasn't he, with a hamstring injury, so he could be back for this game, and he's another one who can, who's a dangerous player. He's a dangerous player.
Very hard working.
Yeah, pops up with the odd goal now and again. So, difficult game, tough game. We know it's going to be a tough game, and Wolves hasn't been a great place. I was down a couple of years ago when Yerry Mina got the last minute equaliser, which set us up for the Leicester game.
We've only won once since they've come back up there, and that was with Alex Iwobi. And Michael Keane. Well, we have, it's just a fact. So this is the chance to go there on Saturday and try to start correcting those kind of, things. We'd gone to Brentford and we should have won. We went and won at Palace. We went and won at Brighton. So
keep the run going.
keep the run going.
Nice little 3 points ahead of the home game next week against West Ham. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. How are you feeling going into this game? You're like really confident and think this is one where we should be getting the 3 points. Let us know. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. You want more great videos. Join us over Toffee TV Premier. The link is in the description and the QR code's coming on screen now. See you later.